Right, it's time. We're going to begin the great Astralis takedown. We're going to show you the results of the RMR, then we'll go big head for a little bit. Astralis, they start out, little 13-5 against Nexus, still good. Lost to Spirit, close game, best of one, happens, Spirit win. And then we get to the heroic game, and you lose, and it's not even close. And the weight of that rivalry just bore down on you. And, you know, for a team of big, well-put-together guys, you fucking crumbled. Interesting. It's almost like there's a mentality problem in your camp. Let's see. Then, you beat Monty 2-1. You still gave up a map to a team that had their like IGL sick with chickenpox. Right? Okay. And then the Ents game that we've already talked about, although this will probably be a separate YouTube video. It's the one where Glaive wrecks them, right? You lost to your old rival, your old flame, right? And by the way, you will notice, unlike Heroic, who fucking love it because of what you did to their team, which we'll do a reminder in a moment. Glaive is such a classy guy, and I know. Remember, I did the reporting on the org when the players were having to get sick notes to get a break after you made them travel to like 4 continents and play in like 5 tournaments in a 45-day span. They had to go to a doctor and say, no, I am fucked. That's what the org did to the likes of Glaive. And he's still such a classy, decent guy. He didn't twist the knife and said he wishes you all the best in the LCQ and hopes you still qualify. What a top guy. So there's the results, and you go, Astralis are in the last chance qualifier, right? Which I'll bring up for you. When they went into the last chance, like I say, I was punching the air when they lost to Ents. And when they went to the last chance qualifier, I was like, you know what? They're still going to get through. Because you're not going to get probably an easier last chance qualifier to get through, right? Remember, this is Astralis. Astralis just dropped $2 million to assemble a theoretical super team, right? And they did a bunch of fuckery to do it, because that's just the Astralis way. They're in the corporate espionage, spy politics, Game of Thrones bullshit. It's never just we'd really like that player. How much would you sell him for? Oh, you don't want to sell him? Okay, my bad. It's never that. Astralis never take fucking no for an answer. So I looked at this, and I said, they're still through. I'm not even going to watch their first game. It'll raise my blood pressure, right? Because they're gonna wreck 9 Pandas. So anyway, I'm sat there, chilling, illing, a little bit of thrilling, And I went on HLTV and I was looking in the forum threads, RL said this. Thorin is old. Hooksy is shit. I love JKS. And then I looked at the scores. I was like, 9 Pandas appear to be winning. Might put this on. And I saw, this might be the worst I've seen Astralis play, like as in this, including the RMR as well. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because, listen, while I like the fact that this result proves that it's a fallacy that Pandas don't like to fuck, because they fucking bent Astralis over, this is ridiculous as a result. Like, look at this team. Look at this team. Fucking seized. Like, Robin Williams, what year is this? This guy. Everyone's been talking about this guy. Glowing or glowing? Right? Is it eeing? Do I have to, put an inflection on it? This guy, he, didn't start playing pro until he was, 24. And his HLTV is just, the wasteland of mediocrity, and he's 30 years old. He's a 30-year-old man. 30-year-old. He's 1 foot in the grave at 30. Right? He's just fucking smashed the Danish super team. I disbalance. Remember him? It can't be real. It can't be real. But it is real. And look, 13-11 on their pick. The day Astralis can't win on Overpass. These are dark times, man. What's happening? Right? Lost on Nuke, because it'll become relevant later on. Stare, the young, the inexperienced guy, top frag, did what he could. He's overperformed. This result is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. And here's the problem. You can't cut anyone. There's nowhere for you to go if you believe this is the team. But look at the 2 million, 0.87, 0.85. There was a round, can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been on Overpass. Stown and Yabi, just in the middle of the game, they just did a weird rotate, just the two of them. And it made no sense within the context of the game. And I was watching it going like, well, why are they there? What is happening? It was a shit show. You know, it was send in the clowns. And it just looks like, yeah, that was it, on Ancient, actually. It just looks like they haven't assimilated. And, you know, everything we're going to talk about, all roads do lead to Blame F. Now, it leads beyond him. It's just bad management, bad coaching, and all that stuff again. So, but let's just talk about that, right? I'll go big head for a little bit. I've been a big Blame F defender. I know everybody hates Blame F. I know everyone says he's a beta. I know people do the meme. My name is Blame F. I'm a beta. I'll see you at the bomb site a little later. You know, everyone loves the song. We've all seen the poems, right? So it's a stupid narrative. It's a stupid narrative because while he does play this like hard lurking style, right? Which Happy used to do as well, if you remember, and everybody used to get on his back about it, including me, except Happy really took the piss. Like, Happy was a joke with it. Happy was literally, you rush B, I'm staying on A. It was just like, fucking, what is this? Okay, but Blame gets the kills he's meant to get, right, as a lurker. And I've always maintained it's up to the other guys. Like, if you're an entry, you got to do your job. You know, if you're the trade guy, you got to do your job. If you're the support guy, you got to do your job. But crucially, you've got to get yours. And if Blame F's getting his and you're not getting yours, just because his are low impact, but they're the ones he's meant to be getting, he's meant to be locking the round in, you're meant to, basically, you are meant to fucking shut the door, and he is meant to be the Catenaccio padlock, right, to guarantee the round. That's the hard lurk. That's what's going on. And if you're not doing that, then it's not all on him. And I'll also add, every single time I see bait F, bait F, bait F, bait F, I go and look at the stats, and the stats say that on the T side, he's in the middle of the pack always when it comes to first kills, right? And if somebody was really baiting that much, they would be down right at the bottom, which he isn't. So I've defended it. And I especially defended it when I saw Gaules do a stream. And it's like, oh, wow, yeah, can't wait for some high-level analysis from Gaules, right? The Gau. What's he got to say? And he's going, look, he's baiting device. He's a disgrace. You know, get rid of him, cut him. How can anybody tolerate this? And you're like, oh, fuck me. More sensible, fucking rational, you know, analysis. So here's what I know about Blame, right? When he was in Complexity, he was one of the hardest working IGLs. Like, he literally, obviously he's a big gym bro, like, you can see that, he loves a workout, but, you know, I know the Complexity all quite well, known Jason like many years, know their coaching staff, know the players. He used to fucking be there all the time with all the demos, cooking in the kitchen, being the IGL, coming up with a playbook. He's very, very effective communicator. He is a smart guy. This is indefensible. You have been given millions of dollars worth of pieces to work with, and it falls on you to put them in the right place. And if you cannot put them in the right place, you need to move yourself out of a place so they can go in the right place. This is what IGLs do. And I think unfortunately, I think he's one of these IGLs almost like MBK. He understands the game. Theoretically, he could be a fantastic IGL. But there's that other thing. When you have to lead men, and you have to step up, and you have to communicate effectively, and you have to get people to buy into what you do. You've got to be persuasive when you're a leader. It's one of the key traits. I need you to believe in me, and I have to make you do that. And I have to make you do that by any means, whether it's manipulative, whether it's linguistic, whether it's, you know, by leading by example. He's not got that. And so you are now left with an IGL who, for me, I'll come out and say it, I still think he's a fantastic player. I still think the bait F memes are stupid. He's not a leader. And how do I know this? Put it this way. He still hasn't stepped up. I nearly DM'd him because, as I said, we talk, you know, every now and then. And I nearly DM'd him and said, bro, you have got to get in front of a camera and talk about it. They are killing you. They are crushing you. I want to show you something. Just to refresh your fucking memories, okay? This is the Danish CS2 major. The first major in Denmark. Astralis are the biggest org in Denmark. They have an entirely Danish lineup. So, it's pretty fucking important that you get there. Stare is just a kid, essentially. You know, not in life terms, but in tier 1 experience and dealing with this. Tier 1 pressure, the spotlight. He tweeted this after the result. Yeah, 19. You know, some 19, 20-year-olds get upset if you call them a kid. They think it's an insult. But I mean, listen, I'm fucking literally old enough to be your dad at this point. So, you know, I mean, I can call you a kid. But whatever. You know, the biggest disappointment ever. We had the possibilities, but we weren't good enough. I don't even know what to say, except that I am truly sorry to all the fans that supported us. Heart. All the replies in there, which I can't show you because of how Twitch like indexes itself now, are all like, listen, mate, it's not on you. You did your best. You played above. You know, people have been super respectful and super nice, right? And so, okay, that's Stare. Came out, faced the music. This is Device, right? Star player, big name. Just in esports in general, just in the world in general. Nothing mattered more than this. I'm crushed trying to find any words to put on what happened. The biggest sorry to our fans and the organisation who believed in us. It's an impossible pill to swallow, not being part of the celebration of Counter-Strike in Copenhagen. Right? Okay. Now then, quick check of the new guy's Twitter account. Doesn't tweet. Alright, fair enough. His account's just inactive in general. Actually, that's Twitter error again. That isn't what you see if you look at his account. So ignore that. But, you know, in general, he's not tweeted anything is the point. And neither is Stown. But that doesn't matter. Because the in-game leader will surely tweet something. Like, he has to. And the last thing the IGL of Astralis tweeted is this. And I'm going to just say it. This ain't good enough, blood. It ain't good enough at all. You need to come out and say something. You are the leader. This is part of the job. And I know Astralis are very careful in how they curate their PR, but you have to address this. Ideally, take responsibility. Shield your players. Whether it's true or not, be the leader. You have to. But worst of all, forget the fucking tweets. When they officially went out, they sent Stare, the 19-year-old on the team, you know, the guy that had played the best, did what he could, least experience in this, like, spotlight. They sent Stare to do the exit interview. And, you know, I can't believe it. Like, I'm actually astounded. And here's the thing. People are blaming Blaine. And fair enough, right? He should have done it. But the org, who's the manager? What's going on? Who's making the decisions? Like, this is fucking pathetic. This is pathetic. This is weak. This is cowardly, right? You send a 19-year-old up to fucking address the fans to say, we're sorry we went out, we didn't play well enough, right? Guys, I'm going to just tell you straight. Players don't like exit interviews. Tough fucking shit. Get yourself into the headspace. Be a professional. You know, you like to say, when I think of all the broadcast talent that have done stuff, like literally like lost relatives, loved ones, you know, had to fucking go on air and fucking, you know, just get through and have the meltdown after for the good of the fans, and you would treat your fucking fans with the level of contempt that you're not, you, the leader, Device, the star, nothing to say? Nothing. You don't want to tell the fans. what happened. You don't think you owe it to them. That is fucking insane. That is so crazy to me that you can't see the value in saying, guys, I've got this. You know, like if you go out there and, you know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, right? Maybe you win some hearts and minds, maybe you don't. Maybe they're all still going to fucking metaphorically spit on you. But at least you tried. At least you did it. But instead, the optics are this. The most inexperienced Tier 1 player, the youngest player we've got on the roster, is the guy who has to go out and face the music. Face up to the gloating. Nah. Astralis will never miss an opportunity to make you fucking hate them. They are just so bad at this. And it's inexcusable. And again, if I'm an IGL in that situation and I see them coming over to do the mandatory exit interview for your media and business partners, I'm like, even if Stair gets up, nah, I got this. Like, this is on me. But instead, you have said absolutely nothing about it. So, I mean, just pathetic. Just pathetic. And so, what came next, funnily enough, right, was all these people were going, oh, fucking, don't hate on them, right? Don't hate on them. Let me, it's time for a reality check. Let's have a reality check with Richie Lou. Let's have it, shall we? Here's when I knew Astralis were cooked, because I know everyone's sticking the boot in on fucking Blaine. I notice you'll let your boy Device off the hook, and you shouldn't. I want to know what this is. Not having any fun. This is during the tournament. Not having any fun playing whatsoever at the moment, which is seen on the performance. Really disappointed and sad. Oh, I'm sorry. Is competing at a high level on a massive salary in a guaranteed job in a sport that loves you and will ever treat you as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Is it hard? Is winning hard? Oh, sorry, no fun, is it? Oh, sorry. Can we make it fun? Can anyone make it fun for Dever? Fuck your fun. Again, if I'm a manager or a coach or the IGL, I'm reading that like, why are you fucking typing that? Why are you putting that piss out publicly? What is that? Right? This is a sport. Put it this way, I haven't heard of anything like this, except maybe from boxing, where, you know, Audley Harrison, it's a super old example now, but probably all my examples are, but Audley Harrison used to say in training, nah, I'm not pushing myself today, I'm not really feeling it. And he had total control over his trainers, and they go, all right, champ. And guess what? He was dog shit. He fought doormen and bums, and every time he fought a real boxer, he got sat on his fucking arse. Do you know why? It isn't meant to be fun. The pursuit of excellence isn't fun. None of it is fun. Waking up every day with a drive inside of you to be the best isn't fun. It poisons your relationships. It poisons your mentality. It poisons the way that you view the world. But you do it, and you do it, and you do it until you can't do it anymore, and then you get to have fun. Because the real fun is looking on all your achievements one day after it's all over, after the blood, sweat and tears are nothing but unpleasant memories, and you go, look at what I achieved. That's the fun. Being able to put all the rings you want on your fingers and just walk around. Having doors open for you, people in awe of you like you're a god. That is the fun. It ain't fun today. It can't be fun today. Winning is hard. Working is hard. Caring is hard. It's wearing. It's grinding. I know, because I'm a goat. And put it this way, even if you're fucking caught up in your feelings again like this, why would you ever do this publicly to your teammates? Why would you ever say this? Why would you undermine the squad around you, the org you represent, your leader? Why? Why would you do that? And you know better. Because, I'll tell you, this is not the Device I know. This is a shell of the man I know. The Device I remember in that Imperious Astralis never got phased. He never went for that risky peak. He stood there disciplined, stoic, staring at fucking a pixel without even blinking, and he would bang someone's head off and he'd win a fucking round. And then he won trophy after fucking trophy after trophy. One of the most decorated people, pioneered his own disciplined AWPing style, didn't have to go for flair flamboyance. This is not you, dude. This is sad. And I will not have it said that shit like this did not contribute to why you fucking capitulated. So you can point the finger at the orgs. We certainly will. We'll get into that in a second. We can talk about all the fuckery and how people saying, oh, it's sad Astralis aren't going to be there. No, it's karma. It's actually delicious. It's perfect. But don't ever fucking say that, oh, the players can absolve themselves of blame. Where's your head at? Where's your head at? And do you want to know what's really fucking sad, guys? Here's what's really sad about it. I'm the type of motherfucker. If you say to me, here's an opportunity to beat somebody you hate, to beat somebody you have beef with, to rub their failure in their face as you ascend to glory, I will take it every single fucking time. I will risk it. I will risk looking stupid. I will risk flopping. But it will energize me. The fight will energize me. And I will find an extra 10% inside of myself, so I know, win or lose, I fucking left it all out there. You got to play heroic, your hated rivals, you capitulated. You got to play your ex-IGL, playing with a relatively inexperienced team, you capitulated. You got given a gift of a last chance qualifier, and you capitulated. Nah. The Astralis management sucks ass, but you guys did that. You did that. That's reality. And everyone might be too nice to fucking say it, but welcome to sports. This is what it means. So, I want to remind you, there was like some reactions, and this is just representative of lots of the tweets. So, sorry to do it to you, Jacob. Obviously, love you, miss you, right? But, miss you, legend. But... obviously, I'm using your tweet as an example of all of the bad tweets. But there were many such cases, Better listen the fuck up now. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to voice your frustration as it is, but keep it civil. Make no mistake, Astralis as a team have messed up profoundly, on a professional level more than anything. That doesn't mean the players ain't human beings and have a private life outside of the game as well. It doesn't mean that the players are not hurting 10 times of whatever you may feel as a fan. By all means, be disappointed, but do not attack anyone on a personal or individual basis right now. Keep it classy. Take it from someone who knows exactly what it's like to feel like a fuck-up after a missed major qualifier. The players hurt more than you do, right? So listen, again, I don't want players getting death threats. I don't want players being fucking told to kill themselves. I don't want players' families being spammed on, Facebook or whatever the fuck it is, right? Of course, all of that's out of bounds. But there's a part to this that I don't think we ever truly get in esports. And I'm going to try and be delicate in how I put it and not sound saccharine or fake, okay? But sports, right? You know, when you pick a team, okay, you get assigned your first sports team. Maybe it's a team your dad supports, when he takes you to the first game, or, maybe it's like a regional thing and you've got friends, Well, there's all various reasons why you end up with the teams you end up with and the teams you end up supporting. And then on a weekend, when the games are being played, traditionally, obviously we have games all the time now, but, on a weekend, when you're not at work or you're not at school, you get to connect to a community of people, sometimes in person, sometimes just watching the game with a few, friends and family, in front of the telly, the warm, LED glow. And you have a shared commonality and you have a shared experience and you're invested in the same thing and you want it to go in one direction. And sometimes you get that and sometimes you don't, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And you're emotionally invested, not just because it's, man kicks ball in net, very funny. You're invested because it's somewhere along the line, it's a connection to your parents, it's a connection to your friends, it's a connection to your community, it's a connection to your region. It's not the badge. It's bigger than that. Now I want you to think about esports. Right? And in esports, we have a lot of young people. And I will go so far as to say I don't think the average esports fan is necessarily, let's say, a social butterfly, right? I think based on my experiences, the average esports fan might be a little bit socially underdeveloped, might be a little bit shy, might be the nerdy kid at school, maybe he's been bullied. And they come online and they get into a video game and they play a game and they learn about the game, and eventually they find there's a professional scene for the game. And then they pick a team, and it's typically the team that's the most winningest, or the player they admire the most and want to be like, or JKS, that smile. And these kids in this sport need this in their lives. Right? I'm trying not to sound saccharine and pathetic, but I understand why esports fans get over-invested in this. It's not lost on me. I think they're plebs. I can't stand them. They have wailed on me for 20 years, but still, I will always grant them, I get it. I understand you're over-invested, but I understand why you are. And so, they want you to win, and they want you to be at the tournaments they watch, and they want to live through you vicariously because you do all the things they wish they could and can't. And that's why, by the way, you can't have it both ways. Isn't it a nice feeling when someone comes up and asks for an autograph, or says they really admire your work, or sends you a DM saying they look up to you, or says that like they're making life choices based on your example? Always makes me feel good. I fucking love that shit. And by the way, one of those, I'll cry and moan and make YouTube videos and Reddit my feelings, and be a pussy myself, right? I'll do all that, but I will tell you, hand on heart, one of those messages in my mind erases thousands of hate messages. Couldn't do what I do if it wasn't true. And I will take all of that abuse for as long as it matters, because I know I'm doing something nominally good when I get the other messages. Let's apply it to this. If you're a fan of something and you have invested in that thing, and Astralis exploit that fact all of the time by being the biggest fan base in Denmark, it is totally fair for those fans to be pissed the fuck off when you phone in performances like you did, when you publicly tweet, it's not fun, I'm not feeling it today, when you won't go out and even talk to them. You won't even do an interview and explain how it all happened. You won't even put out a statement. Yeah, that's bullshit, guys. That is actual bullshit. And if they turn around and tell you to fuck off, or call you shit, or say you should be benched, suck it the fuck up. Makes me sick, this fawning, clawing. By the way, this is an industry that is so fucking savage in general. Pro players don't know they've got it fucking, like, how easy they've got it. Like, try being a journalist telling esports fans on a weekly basis their version of Santa Claus isn't real. Imagine what that's like. Imagine what people have said about me down the years, what people have done to me down the years. I'm still here, 20 years of this shit. Because as I said, the achievements matter, excellence matter, integrity matters, consistency matters. All of these things are important if you ever want to truly achieve anything in life. So no, the fans aren't bad on this, I'm afraid. The fans are very not bad on this. The fans are perfectly right to be pissed off, to say it's unacceptable. And by the way, you know what would nip it in the bud? Fucking talk to them. Like, that nip letter is pathetic with the vibes. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. It's a pathetic. It's a lie wrapped up as transparency because they're trying to be clever with the language and hey, what's up, fellow kids? Vibes, pracs, yeah. But at least they fucking said something. Astralis haven't even talked about this yet, except a couple of tweets. Sorry, personally disappointed. And by the way, I know how much this meant to Device. I'm sure he is hurting, but there has to be some sort of adult in the room that can help these players, because right now I haven't seen a weaker team mentally, and it starts with the leader. So you want to fix this? Somebody's got to go, and a real leader has got to come in. You decide who that is. Now, I'll also add, no Astralis at the major. No Astralis. Oh, it's fucking terrible. What are we all gonna do? All right, let me just give you all, right? Here's why it's fucking hilarious. Astralis now haven't qualified for 3 majors in a row, right? They have literally lost millions because of their fucking serial mismanagement. And it is good that actions have consequences. It's good that bad actors don't get rewarded for acting bad. That is an essential mechanism of the life force, the universe regulating itself. When bad actors get good things, you know, it's a disaster. It encourages other people to do those bad things. Sorry, 4 majors. Yeah, my bad. So, look, here's what we're going to do. I just wanted to give you a quick trip down fucking memory lane. This is why I'm never going to be crying in the club about Astralis not going to the major. No chance. No chance, my friends. I'll start with this. I already alluded to it earlier. This is a report I did, 2020. It's a really long report. I'm not going to read it, but the long and the short of it is they basically didn't support their players when they were burnt out. They had to go and get sick notes. Then they all started looking to get fucking out of the org and either got the bag like Zipniks did or, you know, got out or whatever. But also, a key detail everyone forgets, that during the pandemic, Astralis turned around to the players and basically said, will you take a pay cut? They just had all of that stuff at the end of 2019, where they like literally burnt themselves out competing at all these tournaments, traveling all over the world. They were literally getting to tournaments and having to like straight from the airport and go and play. And then they said, listen, we need you to take a pay cut, you know, because of pandemic or whatever. It wasn't contracted, nothing like that, right? And keep in mind, one of the reasons they were massively burnt out, they had contractual obligations. They had to go to all the blast events, and then they would dodge certain other events. And they were trying to do that whole let's big up the refresh thing and, you know, blah, blah. Let's add value to that. They're the tournaments Astralis compete at, right? So they did that to that team, right? Which is like fucking crazy that it would ever get to that stage. Then they sent the players out to deny the report on an HLTV podcast. HLTV do believe there's some sort of Danish connection there, but whatever. So we had that. They then went out of their way to sort of like fucking sabotage Heroic, which we know about. And do you know how we know about it? We know about it because I wrote about it. So let's talk about this. Keep in mind, there's a clear lack of leadership and coaching over there. What about when they warped space and fucking time just so they could work with Hunden? A risible figure in counterstrike. Banned not once but twice. Threw a neurodivergent player under the bus by secretly recording him. Ugh. Have a word, right? But they went through a sponsor to work with this guy. They went through a sponsor and they didn't disclose it. And then he was there and people were saying, oh, he's in the building and we don't know what's going on. And then when I publish that, they turn around and they say, oh, listen, this is all above board. We're not being deceptive. And then, of course, they hired him. They hired him full time and then he became their coach in the most transparent thing that ever happened. But then people forget about this. And this is what makes me sad, because this is one of the biggest stories and scandals in esports of like all fucking time, actually. And it's just never gonna be remembered that way, because, you know, it's not as salacious as an iBuyPower or a Phantom Lord or, you know, whatever else I've done down the years. The Hunden Files release is fucking mega. It should make you not want to be a fan of this org forever and ever and ever and ever, right? It's as simple as that. I will link you to just the cover page. If you haven't read these yet, please, I urge you to go and read them all, right? It is ridiculous. I announced I was going to be releasing the Hunden Files. What were the Hunden Files? Basically, I was able to obtain Danish court documents that had conversations between Astralis and Hunden when Hunden was working at Heroic, and he was doing all sorts for them. He was building the team. He was recruiting players. He was already mentally checked out with Heroic. He was already going over there. And then what happened? The Strat book leak happened. And then he said it wasn't the Strats. And then it was this. I don't even know if this lawsuit's still going on. It's been going on so long. I'm amazed they're not even fucking... They're probably just bankrupt and can't be bothered with it anymore. Read about this. Astralis manufactured this. And don't take my word for it, right? When I shared my findings, because I got asked about it by ESL, right? This is how you know it was legit. ESL looked at it and went, oh yeah, fucking hell, bang on that. They fined him $100,000 and Casper hit who was like the director of sports at Astralis, left. Hunden left. Their position became untenable. But it doesn't end there. Because in the mind of Astralis, nobody who's even adjacent to the fucking Danish scene can be allowed to succeed and potentially overshadow them. They're super insecure about it. They don't care about anywhere else. They just care about being the biggest in Denmark, which they are far and away, but they're still utterly convinced that they have to fucking destroy anyone that might take their fan base away or a little bit of their luster. And so, what did I write about? Remember when they signed Stown and Jabby, the stabby combo? Remember when that happened? I wrote up, this is exactly what happened. By the way, you'll notice no one's ever called me out about that version. No one's saying it's wrong. No one's saying I'm a liar. Oh, interesting. What these guys did. Just listen to some of the fucking words from this. Like, Stown didn't want to play. This is a quote from an anonymous source. Stown didn't want to play with Cadian anymore and was actively getting support from the others. Jabby didn't take much persuading, but at first the others didn't agree and wanted everyone to work it out. The org did nearly 2 weeks of intense mediation trying to solve the situation, arguing that Cadian should at least have a chance to address their criticism and have a chance to improve. Both of them made it clear that they refused to play with Cadian no matter what, and Heroic must choose between them. While the org waited, Stown and Yabby started to lobby internally and turn the rest of the players against Cadian, the source continues. In my opinion, they actively manipulated the rest of the team to ditch Cadian. The team then said to the org that they were all in agreement that Cadian had to go. The org didn't really want to cut Cadian, the source concluded, but at that point, what can they do? Stown had said he would do anything to make it work without Cadian. He even promised to AWP and be the in-game leader if needed. So Cadian gets kicked, and then Stown and Yabby turn around and say, actually, we don't want to do these things anymore and we'd like to join Astralis. So Heroic got fucked, and so did the rest of the team. I doubt any of them would have pushed out Cadian if they knew Jabby and Stown weren't going to stay. Well, aren't they, like, the snake fucking memes are, like, so on point in that. I mean, again, I was talking to people behind the scenes. Apparently, one of the ways they were persuading players, they were going like, oh, Cadian's going to cut you. What? I'm in a root for these guys. I'm actually glad these guys are at Astralis. It's the perfect org for them. And keep in mind that this was precipitated by Astralis hiring the, whatever it was, the performance coach, who had a really good relationship with Stown, because Stown went through a bereavement and they bonded, and that's what set the whole thing in motion. I know Astralis too well. There's no way that's just an accident. And if it is an accident, I mean, this is a happy coincidence. The only good thing that comes out of this, and it is a good thing indeed, is that Heroic charged them what they called internally an asshole tax and got $2 million for 2 players that, by the way, in CS2, fucking totally mediocre. Been mediocre since they joined Astralis. I noticed nobody, by the way, is calling out Stown, calling out Yabby. They're doing the stabby memes, but these guys have, like, played objectively bad since they got there. It's like not like Stown is meant to be another star player, right? Like that is meant to be who he is. So what's happening? Why isn't he? This guy was what number was he in the top 20? Look at his fucking stats, guys. Like it is an outrage. Look at this shit. Like, are you for real right now? This is $1 million player, guys. This was the star player at Heroic. This is the guy who, by the way, believed in himself enough that I'll do it all. I'll do it all. Just get rid of Cadian, please, please, please. So, listen, Blame F might not be your fucking leader, but I don't know, boys. Anyone want to help me? Fucking help me? Does my $1 million player want to help me? No, they don't want to help you. They're doing the opposite of helping you. They're even undermining your strats in the middle of a game. And by the way, I would tell you, if I was predicting things, the way this works, there's only 2 outcomes, by the way. Either they have to disgracefully cut Stair, because he's the, dead man shoes player, right? He's the youngest, he's the least experienced. I haven't just paid $2 million for him, right? So they either have to do that and bring in an IGL, or they actually have to drop Blame and bring in an IGL. They're the only 2 ways. They're the only move you can do. You've invested in this. This is what you're invested in. And like I say, it's not just Stown. I'm probably being harsh. But remember, top 20, one of the top 20 players, mega boosted, artificially high, didn't even have that good a year, farms lower opposition, all of that. Doesn't show up in the big games. Notorious choker. Remember how everyone was like, oh, wow, Jabby's unironically a star player on this heroic lineup. Remember that narrative? Remember we told her? I mean, it made sense. He was having the pop-off games. He had some high-impact games. He popped off in some big games. Everyone was all like, when Yabby and Stan went to Astralis, everybody was like, wow, this is actually a mega move. This is a fucking super team, right? Nah, guys, come on. Come the fuck on. This is absurd. These are your $2 million signings. So, again, you want to talk about Blame F? Sure. You want to call him Bait F? Sure. You want to call him Low Impact? Sure. What is everybody else doing? I've got to know. Like, right now as well, right? Here's the worst part. They brought in Rugger as a coach. I love Casper. He's a fucking sick guy. How's he going to fix... Is he allowed? Can he stick his fingers in the gumbo? Is he allowed to get in the kitchen at all? What's going on? Casper's a sensible guy. His head is screwed on right. He would have spotted, whatever you do, don't let Stair do the interview. I can't believe he's there and knows about this stuff. I've known him for years. He's a fucking level-headed, adult, super cool guy. Don't know what he's going to be able to do with this shit show. From OG to fucking Astralis, fuck your life. The other narrative that's been going around, and I know I've gone in on Device and said, don't tweet that shit. He shouldn't tweet that shit. Definitely not during a tournament. You can tweet all you want afterwards, but we need to be focused. We've got to turn this around. Everyone's been saying, oh, he's like not really got on the AWP in the new version of the game, that he's struggling. And, you know, he's not great right now, but he's like the best of a bad bunch. But you'll notice he's regressing. He's going back to the 2015 choker Device. Because his worst performances, his shockingly bad performances, are coming in the fucking, oh no, I'm playing against people I really want to beat and I've gone 0.6, no. This is a complete collapse of mentality. That's what's happening to that team. And the org have got to address that, and they need to get a professional in there. Keep in mind, the performance coach that they took from Heroic, he's going to be mega at this stuff. Well, I'm judging him right now. So, all of that is to say, no, fuck Astralis. The best thing that could have happened, actually, for this major is no Astralis. Because, I'll just remind everybody about this final point. What about the Astralis fans? Remember them? Remember the Astralis fans that cheated consistently in Adents? Zipnix was using them and getting the clutch. Can you imagine how insufferable this fucking major would have been if Astralis were there? Imagine how much cheating that would have gone on. We'd be back having this conversation. It's part of the game. There's no way to stop it. Oh, they've took radar off. The fans come first. We would say all the same stupid shit over and over and over again. But now we don't have to. And now the major's wide open. There's not really a home advantage. We can fucking get a sense of, you know, who we want to root for, who we hope does well. There's underdogs, there's overdogs, there's emerging teams, you know. The breakout of the Russian teams getting their shit together right at the end. Cloud9 looking good, Spirit looking imperious. This is actually going to be a sick major, guys. New formats, new game. I'm into this. I'm into this. I'm into the idea of ecstatic, a Danish team playing in Denmark when Astralis don't, and the fans cheering them. Players that deserve it. An org that deserves it. These are good things, guys. These aren't bad things. Spare me the fucking pity party. Spare me the pity party about players making 30k a month and then tweeting really dumb things. This is going to be fucking sick, guys. It's like really got potential. And Astralis don't deserve to be there. The org definitely doesn't deserve to be there. Those players don't deserve to be there. You've got to get your shit together. Because right now, you just look like kids. You look like weaklings. You look like people who cannot cope with the pressures of being high-level professionals in your chosen roles. And if you can't, you need to find out why you can't, and then you need to fix it, or you need to fuck off. That's sports. It's just that simple. It is a performance-based industry. It has been since the first fucking guy picked up a ball and threw it at a fucking basket. It's that simple. And if you can't get your head around it, you need to find a way to get your head around it. And I think we'll leave it there. Fuck Astralis. And let's fucking get to the major.